Well, hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Point of View. Joining us today is our guest co-host, Miss Ree. Hey, girl.
Hey.
We're so excited to have you back in here at the table with us. But we've got an interesting lineup, starting with Nick Cannon's emotional revelation about living with narcissistic personality disorder. And later in Girlfriend's Guide, we'll dive into the rising trend of single women turning to IVF, which has tripled in recent years. So stick around and join the discussion. You are now rocking with POV. Child, Nick Cannon has recently revealed his diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. Rather than viewing it as a setback, he sees it as a chance for seeking help. Now, when Nick made his announcement, many people were not surprised. Some even wondered why it took him so long to realize it. So, how does narcissism affect parenthood? Anybody? I mean, he has a lot of kids. So,
yeah, I think it affects parenthood in many ways because if one of the symptoms of a narcissistic person is someone that doesn't have regard for others' feelings.
Lacks empathy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then that could affect or show up in the way of you, like Nick did, having so many baby mothers, you know, because he's not, you know, being conscious of other people's feelings, but also, you know, as we've talked about before, low-key that in turn can turn into a disservice to your children because now as you want to be a family man, it's just impossible to be everywhere at once. And so now instead of them getting to really have real one-on-one time with him, he has to be Santa on Christmas and go to everybody's house.
Everybody's house. Them a lot of stops. Ho, ho, ho.
That's a lot of stuff. And I do believe, like, the children going to get jealous because they're going to wish that one had more time.
And then what if he like your mama and not my mama? So
right.
Not house.
Right.
Oh, no. I just feel like... I feel like I low-key kind of grew up in a narcissistic household because of my father. So I feel like, I don't know which household he's currently in, but I just fear for that child or children in that household because like, it's very toxic. Like,
Well, I know studies show that most men are the ones who are deemed as narcissistic, but there, in some cases, some women are also narcissistic.
oh yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And they don't want to admit it. And they're so quick to say it about a man, but not even realizing you're looking in the mirror.
So how do you think, now let's just play not devil's advocate, because we're not advocating for the devil, right, Sally? We're not advocating
Not
for
doing
the devil.
that.
But just having a different perspective, what if Nick has in turn turned some of his baby mamas into being narcissistic? Because sometimes abused people,
empty promises.
Yeah,
and
empty
just-
promises. And so now they're actually replicating that behavior to other people. Do y'all think that's a possibility?
Or projecting onto their children when he's not around.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
People do that. But what if they signed up for, what if they knew what they signed up for? And really accepted it, but then later you want to get jealous and all these emotions want to come. Like, you know what can come from a situation. So why put yourself in that situation?
Because he made them feel like they was the only one in the world in that moment.
No, he didn't. He said he wanted to have a lot, well, in that moment, yeah.
In that
He
moment.
said- he said-
In that moment.
But he said he wanted to have a lot of kids. He said that.
Well,
Maybe they thought they was going to be the last one.
Yeah, but I still think even if someone is honest with you, maybe one, they're able to also be so honest because they have no regard for the way that you feel. So here, take it, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's one side to it. But at the same time, I feel like it's so sad how, you know, it tends to work out in relationships on both ends, you know, with men and women, that even when someone is honest with you, that does not stop your heart from still feeling like, or, you know, being delusional enough
could
to
change.
think, exactly, he gonna love me because I'm different, you know, and I'm sure that's how they all felt.
Well, have any of you dated a narcissist? Like, did you realize they were a narcissist in the middle of the
Just get up
relationship?
here every day.
No.
Just expose us.
I
for
am
who
just
we used
asking
to
a
be.
question.
I didn't realize it when I was in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't until I got out and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
But what behaviors do you think, looking back, that you can say, like, this was actually a little toxic for me?
Like feeling like, you know, just hearing like, making me feel like nobody else will want me.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like, okay, you can go out there, you can leave, but I'm letting you know now that they just gonna only want you for this. They ain't gonna want you, and it's just like, whoa, what?
Yeah, when I think about things like that.
Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
When I think about things like that, it makes me feel like I don't really like live by, you know, these newer popular words. You know, they've always been around, but these newer popular words like, you know, trauma, trigger, narcissist, things like that. Because I feel like low key, it's just like normal people stuff, and it's sad. And I know people may think, oh, she's traumatized by thinking that that's normal, and it's not just that. I just feel like, you know, in so many ways, people are flawed. And sometimes I wonder, are we wrongfully going down the rabbit hole, you know, always wanting to diagnose and identify what's going on with someone else instead of looking inward? Because low key, we all can borderline have narcissistic traits, especially if you live in sin.
For sure.
I think we all like I'm not gonna lie. I think we all have
Narcissistic moments.
Moments, and it takes, I know you hate the word, Hallie, but like it takes certain triggers to pull that out of people. You know what I'm saying? Like it depends on who you're around, who just brings that out of you, because it's not always that, you know, people act crazy or whatever. It's mostly a response.
And it's just so crazy with these new words. All of them give that negative impact. I wish I would never heard these words, because every time I hear any of them, trigger, narcissist, this and that.
We
it's
all
just
a little crazy.
I think we all
just
got
say a little crazy.
It takes the person to bring it out of you.
It's so
you just
negative.
gotta be pushed far enough for somebody to make you feel like you need to react in such a way.
Correct.
Ciao. Well, honey, I wish him the best. Nick, if you're watching, definitely wish you the best. I hope you take Cam Newton with you on the next session that you may have. But anywho, here's another interesting discussion. Megan Fox recently announced her pregnancy around the same time as a well-known female rapper by the name of Flo Milli. Both women are successful, pregnant and unmarried. But while Megan is being celebrated for her beautiful journey, the rapper is facing heavy criticism, especially on Black Twitter, who has no chill, no regard for anybody, no matter the circumstance. So what do you think? Like, why is there such a double standard between both women?
You know why Flo Milli is getting dragged through the mud on Black Twitter? Because it's Black Twitter.
People.
Yeah.
Megan is not on Black Twitter.
Very much Caucasian.
You know, like she's not a part of that culture. So it's, unfortunately, like, it is our people sometimes that just
It
like
be your own people.
It do be your own people sometimes, and it's so sad because I feel like they both should be celebrated, because bringing life into a world I feel like is a beautiful thing. But you know, like our people. You know,
why do you think when white women who are unmarried, they don't receive the same criticism or backlash as us? We're seen as like baby mamas, bottom of the barrels, or government, you know, like we own the government, getting stamps and all this kind of stuff. But yet when a white person gets pregnant,
the white people be getting stamps too.
they tear them yamps up.
Okay. 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 We're not gonna get to that.
It still falls back to us.
Yeah.
Every time, like I remember growing up back in the days, it was a secret if you got food stamps. That was embarrassing.
Right. You
Now
weren't supposed to show that
we
card.
selling
You were
them.
supposed to.
We
Yeah.
You were
selling
supposed to
them.
stick it in
it's
there and
like
cover the top.
everything, and it's so sad because I'm Black. So it's just like everything is so negative when it comes to us. And then somebody will see this watching and say, why would she be saying that? Why would she? This is the honest truth.
Right.
And
You don't say nothing to your baby cousin, sister, brother, whoever who having a baby who ain't married.
Yeah.
some of
Y'all don't
our
say nothing
mothers
about
were
them.
single mothers.
Yeah.
And you know,
Right.
it's not nothing to be celebrated and all that, but certain situations just happen.
Right.
It just happened. What they supposed to do? Only thing you can do is just move forward. But you don't have to down somebody. They're already pregnant. I can only imagine all the emotions
Ooh,
coming
the
with that.
hormones.
Then if she don't have
Child.
a baby's father, that's even making her even more sad.
Right,
So
right.
it's like, why do that? You never know what somebody's dealing with mentally. You never know how she really feels. Just don't say nothing.
Yeah.
You don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing.
You know the internet
don't
gonna
know.
always have something to say,
Always. That's why they need
especially
to take it
for the
away.
people that's in front of the limelight.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's because Flo Milli isn't as of a high profile as
No.
Megan
No,
Fox?
I don't think
You
that
that
has
was
nothing to
They
do
got
with
nothing
it.
to do with
I
it.
think for sure it's a black and white thing, but
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, you know, in the other community, you know, it's more hush hush. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
feel like because you know more white women, white people than black people, get married, quote unquote, and they tend to put more emphasis on the whole family unit. So when they don't have the family unit, which is what they quote unquote are supposed to represent, it's a secret, but for us, it's like, it's almost the other way around. Marriage is low-key the secret. It's, the thing that parents are not always rushing their children into. Men don't always make that the first priority. It's first, it's school, it's money, it's career, it's all of these things. So I feel like there are so many variables at play. But at the end of the day, Megan Fox is also on her 4th child. I don't know what number this is for Flo Milli, but, all life should be.
I think this is her first child.
Yeah, so, it should definitely be celebrated, and we should definitely be promoting marriage, but not judging if people decide to live their lives the other way. I ain't gonna say not judge, because baby, it's only one way to do it. But anyways.
But to that point though, Telly, I think with different cultures and different households, being that we're talking about black and white households, right? Most white families have this structure instilled in their kids. You go to school, you go to college, you get married, you come home, you build a house, you do all these things. That is not necessarily taught or ingrained in most black households. And so that's probably why we see the discrepancy in like judgment too. So
we just got to do better as a whole. And we really have to do better. Like, we got a whole nother generation coming up. Instill the old traditions into them.
But in that same vein, I do think we're seeing a lot of families, black families, take back the unit. And fathers are coming back to the homes. Homes are being restored. So I think there's still hope for us. I'm excited. But we do have to go to a short commercial break. We have a lot to talk about. Coming up next, we'll have Girlfriend's Guide, Unpopular Opinions. So stay tuned. You are rocking with POV.
Commercial soon.
Hey, Sugar, welcome back. Ladies, it's that time of the show. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. So if you were with us before the commercial break, we were talking about single parenthood. So now we have a number of single women turning to IVF, and it has increased more than ever over the past decade, with patients getting younger than ever before. So nearly 5,000 women in the UK sought fertility treatment in 2022 alone, reducing the stigma around single motherhood. So ladies, would you say this statistic is surprising or is it expected?
For me, I'm gonna say it is definitely expected. because there are so many variables. One, with the statistics rising, one variable is that, versus maybe back in the day or, whenever this is compared to, women were typically healthier, I believe, because they had access to better food, and things like that. So I feel like their eggs in their body was healthier. So, it was easier to maybe have a child on their own. Whereas now we have so many things that we're putting inside of our body. The air that we breathe is not as good. You know what I'm saying? And exactly. And so there's so many things that contribute to the fact of like why a woman's body is not unhealthy. We eat so much fast food, amongst other things. So.
But then also, sometimes it's not even the woman who is carrying the brunt. A man could also have low sperm count.
For
that
sure.
could also cause the infertility.
For
so
sure.
then you go and have these treatments, and treatments are expensive from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Like it can be very costly. So the
IVF
fact that
is expensive.
yeah. So like the fact that a lot of single women, young single women are, deciding to go the route of IVF, it's like either they making big bank, or they come from wealthy families.
Or
which is
people are
mostly white
just-
families.
People could be paying for it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I do believe that a lot of people make that sacrifice
I'm
as
joking.
well. And, with jobs having better benefits as well, because I
Very
do
true.
have a family member. And my family is not really big, but we are really close. And so one of my family members, they were having a little bit of trouble conceiving. And so it cost them like upwards of $25,000.
Wow.
But I mean, it worked out, it was a major blessing because now we have that baby. He's 7 years old, super healthy.
Aw.
Yep. And so the treatment also blessed them because, I believe it helped her to not have a blockage. And
Yeah.
so after that, she was able to conceive on her own. And
Yeah.
so now we got 2 babies.
Oh,
Got
wow.
two babies.
That's
Yes,
amazing.
double blessing.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of folks in the LGBTQIA community adhering to IVF treatment, same-sex couples. And so that's probably another reason why the numbers are so high. But I'm a little concerned because with this new president coming into office soon, there is talks that that may actually be taken away.
Yes, I've heard that.
sorry.
Yeah. So like, what would that look like for families who want to freeze their eggs, and then later in life decide to start that family? Like, have y'all ever come across somebody? I know you mentioned that you've come across someone who's used IVF, but have y'all ever come across anybody?
I haven't.
No?
Not in real life.
Not in real
I've
life.
seen-
I've
yeah.
seen it on social media and
Yeah,
stuff.
same.
But
I don't know anybody personally who has actually used it.
So this may be unpopular opinion. I'm sorry, Jennifer. Cut you
Do
off.
it. Let's go.
This may be unpopular opinion, and don't quote me because I may not be completely politically correct or biblically correct. But I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about how in the Bible it talks about like being barren and things like that, and how health is our portion. So even like fertility health, all type of health and things like that. So God forbid if we ever do get to a place where we aren't able to to be able to utilize the tool that is IVF. Hopefully maybe people will maybe go a little bit deeper, and God will be able to bless their womb like he did Sarah,
Yeah.
in the Bible. So
then, not devil's advocate, friend. We got to find a different term for that, right? But like to give you a different perspective and for conversation, what if someone doesn't subscribe to the faith of Christianity? What if their
Right.
faith doesn't allow them to believe in Jesus
their president
or
is
God?
Trump.
Yeah, and if they, some people may not subscribe to that type of belief. What should they then do? Like if IVF is their only option, like what else should they do for it?
So for me, sadly, and not sadly, because I'm proud to be a Christian.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I have, the answer to that because my answer would be that, before Jesus comes back, all people will have the opportunity to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so I hope then that they will be a believer and be able to activate what they get in their birthright, which is healing of their body. So
do you think, and I don't want this to be like,
No, it's okay.
This is good. I love it. Very stimulating. So what if a same-sex couple decides that they want to have children?
And they are Christian.
And they are believers.
see, now you're
'Cause
trying to play with me.
that is a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing in today's world because people daily are making up their own religions and stipulations that serve them and are not really completely Bible-based. So based off of my belief, my conviction,
Okay.
I do not believe that that is the way that God designed it to be, and then God can deal with them on their own, and I hope they come to their own revelation. But at the end of the day, I ain't got the answer for that, baby. Mine always gonna be seek the Lord.
So, I love this. So what if you and your partner decide, you know what, we're having some issues, and maybe you're not even having issues. You want to freeze your eggs right now, friend. And you think down the road, you know what, we can give this a try. Would you go the route of IVF if that? Tell me why.
Absolutely. I would go to IVF if my doctor told me that was an easier route for me. I would absolutely choose that and just hope my insurance just takes the whole thing
Please do it.
Because I just feel like if it's a safer way and it's like what's best for the baby and what's best for your own body and it's helpful for your partner, whoever it may be also, or whoever is involved, I say, yeah, go for it. Like if it's the safest way and the way for you to get what you want and it's like a for sure thing, absolutely, why not?
Well, the premise
and you can't do it on your own.
Yeah, if you can't do it on your own, correct. So the premise of the question was asking about single women, the number of single young women adhering to IVF.
Because they want a baby.
I was just about to bring that point up. Like a lot of people aren't waiting anymore for their happy ending.
They want their own child, whether the father is there or whether they have to raise the child on their own. They just want a child. And maybe that's coming from some trauma within them. Like maybe they just, want somebody to love them.
That's a good point.
But also the younger generation is just not waiting for nothing. Like they're not waiting for
they just going to get
nothing. And it's just I personally just don't think that they should do that. Just give your life a chance. Because if you look at it, you have 18, 19 years old, they're getting their body done. They're not even giving their chance to their body to grow. They want everything really, really fast.
Microwave generation.
Yeah, it's just like, chill. It'll come.
I think that's a really good point, for sure. Yeah, because, having children, as much as it is a blessing, it is a whole nother world, you know? And on the outside looking in, sometimes people feel like, okay, I want this and I want it right now. But when that baby start crying and you ain't got no babysitter, and you got to work, and this job is saying, which is the only way that you pay your bills, you have to be here. What you gonna do? When you chose to go the route of having no spouse, no help, and God forbid you ain't got no good family.
Right.
Listen, we can go all day talking about that. Help is definitely appreciated. But now we're going to switch gears and move on to the next segment, which we've kind of already tipped into, which is unpopular opinion. Since we're at a table full of amazing ladies, we came across an interesting post on X, formerly known as Twitter, about girl code. The post said, if your friend's man is moving on to you, don't tell her. Turn him down and move on. It's a very interesting approach. I, for one, would not withhold that information.
Miss Vamps need her ass beat. Vamps, hybrid, Ola. Y'all get in the comments and y'all find her, because that is so unhinged. What do you mean? Don't tell.
And this your friend's
Don't
man.
tell. This your friend. First of all, that's not a friend. That's an op. Sorry. That is a op. That is somebody who's definitely been looking at your man. Okay, that's definitely somebody who finds your man attractive in some way, shape, or form.
Because why would a friend even want you to be with someone
who's looking?
like that?
Hello.
That means you don't even care for me.
Hello.
Y'all let me know when y'all tapping me and I'll put it in the
You in.
Okay, so for me, not being devil's advocate, because I'm no advocate of Satan.
Correct.
But the reason why I kind of understand where she could have been coming from is because a lot of people do not live in reality. And I've had like a friend in the past where, a situation like something like this arose, or I found out that her guy was being belligerently, wild,
Same.
And when I told her, because she had an idea in her reality, in her mind, of how her relationship was, that she would not allow herself to see anything else, in turn, she got upset with me and she judged me, and our friendship was dismantled because now I feel like a part of her felt like now I know and I see him for what he really is, but she's not wanting to see
You're
him
not a
in
part
that
of her
way.
fairy tale no more.
Exactly. And so, at the end of the day, it played out fine. I still love her. I know she has love for me. It's just that she didn't want to see her relationship in that light. So in a way, I'm going to be agreeing with Miss Vamps, baby. Move on, suck it up.
No,
and keep it
I'm sorry.
moving.
If you're my friend and I care about you, I'm not living in too much of a delusion with you.
Well,
I'm not.
If the man is trying to hit on me, I'm telling. But I understand if like he's trying to hit on somebody else. I've had a situation same as Tally. When I did go and tell her, it all blew back up on me, and it was just what?
This post is talking about us.
Yeah,
like,
if he trying to hit on me, I'm telling.
If
and
he's
I'm going
trying
off
to hit
on him.
on you.
I'm going off on him. First of all, this is not even going to happen to me.
I'm not creating the space for you to even think that it's safe for you to hit on me at all.
Well, maybe she know that her man is a dog. Maybe she knows that he has a wandering eye and this is nothing new to her. So if the friend is probably like, you know what, I done told her before she ain't gonna do nothing, so I'm gonna just shut my mouth.
No.
You know what?
I just don't know how these friendships survive.
They don't be surviving.
They be so fake.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Jesus, we need real friends in 2025 in the name of Jesus. Okay,
real men
too. So that is a wrap for today's show, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to POV. Join us tomorrow, 7:30. This is Point of View.